Hey guys, a little bonus video here on this fine Friday night. I've done two today, and you guys should check out my first video I made today of me talking to my customers about what you should do when you are trying to build a relationship as an HVAC contractor. But I had something else here I wanted to talk about real quick that I find very interesting, and you guys are going to get some good information here too. I'm not just going to ramble on about stuff, but I got a transcript from, so I go on Facebook sometimes, and you know, there's a lot of HVAC groups, and there's a lot of I gotta keep my computer. Oh shoot, I didn't grab my mouse. Hold on a second. All right, guys, sorry about that. It's a big shocker. So I spilled some beverage on my keyboard one day, so now I have to have a mouse in order to use my cursor on the computer. But anyway, that being said, so we're gonna get to something here. So I mentioned this. So this particular group is HVAC for Life, and guys go on there and they post really stupid things about, I mean, nasty stuff. So I was just messing around one day and making jokes, right? And I made a post on there, and I printed it out, but I also have it here pulled up on the computer, but I wanted to prove to you guys that it's really here. I said, what's up with men always needing to discuss my HVAC proposal with their wife? I never have to bother my wife with what settings she uses on the washer and dryer. Obviously, that's tongue-in-cheek, right? Most people don't think that. So, a guy gets on right away, and he says, that's a polite way of saying your price sucks. And then another guy gets on, and he says, I'm going to go down here. Let's see, where's he at? Okay. So I'm going to quit reading off this, but I just want to prove to you guys that it's really here. It's legitimate. I could show you the screen, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to do that right now. So anyway, this guy goes, so let me read my post again. I said, what's up with men always needing to discuss my HVAC proposal with their wife? I never have to bother my wife with what settings she uses on the washer and dryer. And if you knew my wife, she'd laughed big time at that. So let's go back. So this guy goes, and he's taking it serious, and I don't know why he's taking it serious. He goes, they want to speak it over to discuss the features and expense on the household budget. I don't buy anything expensive without consulting my wife out of respect. She does the same. I've had times when I was going to go a cheaper option for something, but I wouldn't have been as happy with it, and she knew that. She pushed me to get the more expensive item, and I'm grateful for that. Some of y'all don't sound like you respect your marriage or the position of a family, which is probably why you get that excuse a lot. I never get that excuse, but I don't know why these. And he got like 100 thumbs up for this. But I don't know why these threads go this way. And I responded, my wife couldn't care less about such purchases, and she doesn't. She trusts me because I work hard. She knows I'm mechanically inclined, and she knows if something like that is needed, that I'm going to make the right decision. And then I'm sure it's the guy that I responded to just did the smiley face emoji like they always do. They don't have anything intelligent to say, so it's a smiley face, or the laugh emoji, I guess is what it is. Next guy, I'm not going to say their names, of course. In my marriage, any major purchase is discussed by husband and wife. It's worked for 38 years for me. You want the wife coming home with a Tesla? She could if she wanted to. We are very trusting in our marriage, and I'm not gonna. She's got money. We got money. So, and that's gonna go transition to the next part of this video about why that would be okay. Let's see. Next person, this is a female. She goes, because they share finances and should make decisions together. Even if he's just bringing it up, no one wants to be surprised because their spouse made a big house decision without at least letting them know. I personally hate surprises like that. It feels purposeful, like my opinion doesn't matter. So, you know, it sounds like most of these people have insecurities. I mean, all this goes without saying. Another female. This one's funny. My hubby and I discussed purchases for things needed in our home. It's about mutual respect with an exclamation point. Obviously, you don't do that with your spouse if you have one, LOL. You know, it's funny. A lot of these people are going to wake up someday and they're going to realize how wrong they were in life about the things they say about me and other people. It sucks being wrong all the time, doesn't it? That's what I would tell them. This guy says, that's literally the only excuse weak men use to say no. Now, I actually agree with this. I talked with the wife, we'll pass. And I said, exactly, finally a logical comment. That was a female that wrote that. That was a wife of somebody. So she understands the scenarios. And, of course, she got a bunch of laugh emojis, you know, laughing at her or whatever. Another guy gets on here, I need to talk it over with my wife, equals I'm not buying it, but I'm being polite, please leave. And then a guy gets on there and he says, does your wife purchase the new appliances or have them repaired without your input? And I said, if she felt they needed to be, then I would question it. She knows I can fix them anyway, so she would just come get me. And then I get 2 laugh emojis from that. Yeah, if I'm in HVAC, I'm pretty sure I know how to fix appliances. Give me a break. Another woman gets on here and she says it's not just his money if you're married. And there's 7 replies to this. I think this is where it goes downhill, kind of. So anyway, she goes, it's not just his money if you're married. And then I said, now, I really agree with this because I agree about ambition, and that's why we're going to get to my other little segment of this once we're done with this part. I go, well, then he should get a better job where purchases like this aren't a big deal. So they laugh, because everybody acts like the economy sucks, they suck, it's hard to scrape by, etc. And I'm sorry if you are, but there's reasons why you are if you are. Then a guy gets on here and he says, the woman of the house may not decide who installs the unit, but she'll definitely say who won't. If you don't include her or make her not feel important in the decision. He didn't use any punctuation or anything, so it's hard for me to read that. He used commas or periods or whatever. He got a bunch of thumbs up on that. Why, I don't know, because he can't really speak. Same guy again. Not realistic opinion. A majority of home-related purchases in the U.S. are made by the woman of the home, and I agree with that. I love dealing with when they usually are very level-headed, and they usually make the right decision, which is using somebody that they can trust, which I always gain their trust, and I think that's something a lot of people need to work on. I'm not trying to screw anybody over, and I think I've proven that with most of my work that I do and the videos to back it up. Anyway, she goes, yeah, U.S. are made by the women of the home, made by the women. You should start the conversation with our all decisions makers here before moving forward with discussing options. Save you time. So again, no punctuation. That was hard to read, no punctuation. And I said, I don't have this problem. I'm talking about those that do, and that's true. My wife would trust me to make the decision no matter what. And I could pretty much buy whatever I want because she trusts that I'll make a good decision for the family and for our marriage. Another guy gets on here, a guy, of course, and he looks like he probably hasn't, no offense, but he probably hasn't been laid since the Reagan administration. He goes, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's not $50, it's probably thousands. You sound like one of those guys that would go buy an $80,000 vehicle without talking to your wife. It's not just a money thing. If you're married, it's a respect thing in her opinion too. Even if you have the cash in hand, it's something you discuss together, and he misspelled a bunch of words. So my business model is I buy old trucks and I run them till the wheels fall off. I don't make any elaborate purchases. I save our purchases for our trips, family trips, for trips, anniversary trips, birthday trips, and my wife would back me up in that, if on that, if you were to talk to her. So this guy's full of it. He doesn't even know me. I sound like one of those guys that would go buy expensive stuff. Nope, I'm cheap. I'm simple and primitive, and he can go fuck himself, really. And so the same people kind of getting on here. This this girl that made a comment earlier, commenting on what I said. Go get a better job to pay you. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is another segue to the other topic I'm going to talk about here. And then I said, no, my business pays me well, and I earn every bit of it. If you guys watch my videos, you know that I'm crawling around in shit. I'm working my ass off. You just said the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I just said that to her. So let's see if there's any other good ones. This guy thinks, okay, this guy kind of agrees with me. They're giving you a signal that you have not fulfilled their needs and want to end the conversation. Men are becoming more feminine and truly do not wear the pants anymore. It's not really about that. He's kind of taking it from a different angle, but yeah, I think it should be equal. But I also think that a smart man knows how to make the right decision. And then a couple other little ones at the end here. So that's a polite way of saying your price sucks. And this guy says they just think you're a loser or whatever. Okay, so you're going to get all kinds of different things on a post like that. But let's go back to what I said originally. I said, and it was a joke. I mean, if you read this, you know it's tongue-in-cheek, right? What's up with men always needing to discuss my HVAC proposal with their wife? I never have to bother my wife with what settings she uses on the washer and dryer. I mean, obviously that's a joke. So all that came about from that post, which is pretty funny. So let's get back to, so I made some notes here on the back of I always make notes on the back of my papers here. And I want to talk a little bit about people that think there's no, I still got people commenting right now, that think there's no way to get yourself out of the struggles that you're having. And I think it boils down to, do you have ambition or do you not have ambition to improve yourself? Okay? Do you have ambition to improve your lot in life, or are you just happy with the way things are? And we're going to get a little deeper here for the next few minutes. And I'm down to 8 minutes left of video on my phone. I don't know if it's going to last or not. I might have to go erase some stuff, but we're going to get into it here. But I think that everybody should have ambition and want to improve their life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. At all. There's nothing wrong with that. But I got my notes here. Let me take a little break, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I had to go use the bathroom and make sure the family was good. So, where were we at? So we're talking about ambition, right? And people that are struggling, and I understand that people are struggling, and they're worried about, you know, their next paycheck, worried about how to pay their rent and all that good stuff. And trust me, I couldn't be more sympathetic. And I do lots of charity work for people. I save all my cans and bottles. I always give them away. I don't use them myself because I don't need them. I give them to somebody that needs them. I do lots of charitable stuff. So if this sounds like me being elitist or whatever, I'm sorry. But what a lot of you guys don't know about me is I've been homeless many times. I've lived in my work truck many times. I've slept in the woods many times, and that was to my own doing because I was hurting myself, and I wasn't taking very good care of myself. And I know some people do everything they can, and their lot in life gives them the short stick, and I get it. But I've experienced it. I've been at the lowest of the lows. No vehicle, no place to live, not a penny to my name, begging on the streets. So this is all coming from my experiences. So without further ado, here we go. And I'm sorry for anybody that's struggling. So I just wrote this down. It's literally like 20 minutes ago, because I was thinking about it today when I was driving around. You know, because people are always bitching about how they can't make ends meet and they're struggling and etc. So I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face. But anyway, so I made some notes. How to be successful in life. How to dig yourself out of where you're at. So how do you do that? You know, what separates why are successful people successful and others aren't? So I kind of boil it down to what kind of career that you have. Okay, like what job do you have? Are you bagging groceries? Are you doing something technical? What are you doing? So if you want to be successful, I put number one: find yourself an occupation, a career, a job that most people cannot do. Right? If you do something that's that most people cannot do, whether they can't do it physically, whether they can't do it mentally, you know, you're always going to have work. And I think HVAC is definitely that type of career, because most people don't want to do the hard work that I do, and they don't want to think and do the thinking part of what I do in HVAC. And that's just the bottom line. You can complain all you want, but I'm making a lot of money, but I earn every bit of it. I'm down there in the trenches getting dirty. I'm doing the thinking to make sure that everybody's comfortable in their home, whether in the summertime they want to be cool enough, in the wintertime they want to be warm enough. And I'm doing all the legwork to make sure that happens. So if you feel like you're in a dead-end job and you can't make ends meet, find a job that most cannot do. I'm just telling you. If that means going back to school, if that means learning on your own, figure it out. You can Google anything. Figure out how to do something that most people cannot do. It's simple in my mind. Do something that most people cannot do. Number two on my list is do something most people do not want to do. And I guarantee you, HVAC is something most people, well, at first it's something that they want to do, but when they find out what it entails, they don't want to do it. They don't want to put the work in. They don't want to put in the elbow grease. Okay, they don't want to do what it takes to be successful in this trade or any other trade that involves very hard work. Electricians, plumbers, drywall guys, roofers, framers, any of them. And the lack of respect in these industries is completely ridiculous. And you know what? If you're complaining because you're going to work at Fred Meyer as a checkout clerk and you're not making what we do, I'm sorry, but you're not willing to put in that work that we do. You know, yeah, you're standing for 8 hours a day, but I don't want to hear it, because you come out and work with me for a day, you're going to be complaining. I know, I'm speaking from 30 plus years of experience. You're going to complain. If you can't do it, I can do it. I'm a rare breed, so why shouldn't I reap the rewards of that? Number three, and I kind of came up with this one off the cuff. I had some other thing, but I can't remember it now, but it still works. Do something that can't be outsourced or automated or outsourced. You know, so many people complain that technology's taking their job away, but they don't adapt, and that all has to do with not having the ambition to adapt. Don't you agree? So ambition is a lot of things. Ambition goes back to my number one, finding something that others can't do. That's ambition, right? Number two, ambition is do something most don't want to do. Have the ambition to do it. Everyone else is saying no. Maybe you're the one to say yes. And then the ambition to move on. If your job is getting taken by AI or machines or other countries, you know, find something else to do. Figure it out. You have to figure it out for yourself. You're only going to live one life. So figure out what you need to do to make yourself successful. It's that simple. And then my last one I got here, number 4. And this works too for anybody. And I've seen people rise from nothing by just doing this simple thing. If you have an unskilled job, something that somebody can do easily. You work at McDonald's, right? And I'm not saying that's an easy job, okay? I get it. There's been times where I didn't have a job and I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to be a bum instead. I'm saying, if you have a job that's unskilled, that is basically, let's say you were just putting checks on papers, okay? Anybody can do that, I would hope. If you have an unskilled job, you should do that job better than anyone else, okay? Do it better than anyone else, and always look up at what can be your next step at that job, right? I mean, this is all common sense stuff. I really, every time I go through, well, I don't go through fast food drive-thrus that often because I don't eat fast food that often, maybe once or twice a year, maybe more, depending on where I'm at. But I always look for that go-getter, the one that's trying to perfect his job, no matter what it is. I don't care if you're sweeping sawdust into a pile. Try to do it better than anybody else. Try to do that job better than anybody else, and you're going to go far. It's really the truth, and that all comes back to the ambition thing. Do your job better than anybody else. If you see somebody doing something that you think is a good way to do that job, then mimic them. Steal something from everybody you see and try to improve yourself by using those attributes that you're seeing from other people. And pretty soon you'll become the perfect employee, and they won't want to let you go. They're going to go, well, you got management written all over you, so they'll move you up. It's that type of stuff. So I've never had anybody ever accuse me of not being that guy that shows up early for work and stays late if need be, if I possibly can. I'm always going the extra mile. And now that I'm working for myself, which I have been, 12 years out of my career, I'm always striving to do that. I'm always striving to overproduce, doing more than what that customer thinks I'm going to do. If I tell them I'm going to be there at 7:30, I'm going to be there at 7 waiting. And when I come knocking on that door at 7:25, I'm going to wow them with everything that I'm doing. So I hope this was informative for you guys. It kind of turned into a funny thing on Facebook about a funny post I made about a joke. But we got serious here about success, and I want more people that are successful is better for this country, and that's what I'm all about. And not to get USA, but man, if we just pull our head out of our asses, we can do a lot of great things together, and that's what this is all about. So appreciate you guys watching. I won't ramble on anymore. Thank you very much, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do.